Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com, and we're here today with episode number 20 in our incredible new tutorial series where you're learning how to think like an engineer using the Arduino Uno R4 Wi-Fi. What I will need you to do is pour yourself a nice tall glass of ice cold coffee. That would be straight up black coffee, poured over ice, no sugar, no sweeteners, none needed. And as you're pouring your coffee, as always, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Sunfounder. Sunfounder is actually sponsoring this most excellent series of video lessons. And in this class, we will be using the Sunfounder Elite Explorer Kit. Now, hopefully most of you guys already have your gear, but if you don't, take a look down in the description. There is a link over to Amazon. You can hop on over there and pick up your kit. And believe me, your life and my life are going to be a whole lot easier if we are working on identical hardware. But enough of this shameless self-promotion. Let's jump in and talk about what I am going to teach you today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my solution to the homework assignment that I gave you in lesson number 19. But I must start by asking, were you successful? If you were successful, leave a comment down below. I am legend, double chest bump. And if you were not successful, leave a comment down below. I folded up like a cheap Walmart lawn chair. Okay. Now, hopefully most of you guys got it. Hopefully you just kind of brute forced your way through it and got it to do what it was supposed to do. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a more elegant way of solving it. So even if you did the homework assignment, make sure you watch what I'm doing, because we're going to be learning some new things and what might be a better way to do it than what you did it. Does that sound good? I hope it does. So let's see. I'm going to get out of your way. I'm going to have a sip of my Go Juice. We're going to come over to, we need to get this thing hooked up. Now, you guys, we've been using this for the last 2 or 3 lessons, so I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. This is the RGB LED. And the way I have this hooked up is this second leg here is the long leg. And remember, that long leg is the ground. So that second leg I have connected here to the ground rail. And then that ground rail is made the ground rail by that black wire that comes over to GND. And then this leg is R. I have a red wire. It's going to pin 9. And then the next one's ground. And then this one is G, green. And it's going again through a 1,000 ohm resistor. Green wire goes to pin 10. And then you've got the final leg is blue. The blue leg, it goes through 1,000 ohms, and then it goes to the blue wire and goes to pin 11. So it's red, green, blue, pins 9, 10, 11. And I'm using the squiggly pins. I'm using the squiggly wiggly pins because those will allow me to do PWM just in case I want to do little mixing and matching of my colors. Okay, sound good? I think that's what we need there. And now we're going to come over here and we're going to get this thing set up. Now, hopefully you guys are getting real comfortable with this because we've done this a few times. We got to set our pins up. I'm going to have an int for red pin, and that is going to be pin 9, I do believe. And then we're going to have an int green pin, and that's going to be green PIN. That would have been a disaster. And then that's going to be 10 like that. And then int blue pin, and that's going to be equal to 11. Pin 11. Now we need to set our baud rate, so I'm going to put a variable for int BR, and I think we are going to go today with a baud rate of 115,200. I'm always going to look down here and make sure that this is set to 115,200. Also, I always want to make sure that you're set to no line ending right here. Now that looks good. Now, in this particular lesson, to get started, we're not asking the user for a color, so I don't need to set anything up there. But I always do turn on my serial monitor because even if I'm not planning on printing something, you never know that you might need to print something just to do a little debugging, right? Do a little troubleshoot. So we're going to not begin, serial.begin will work better than begin every time. Okay, so that looks good. So now what was the homework assignment? You were supposed to blink the LED kind of fast, red, green, blue, and then wait a second, and then red, green, blue, and then wait a second. So I probably am going to need some delays up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an int, and I'm going to do, there's two different delays. There's a short delay. I'll just put short D, and I'm going to say that that's like 150 milliseconds. That's a little more than 1/10 of a second. And then I'm going to do an int, and that's going to be then the long D, the long delay. And we said that was going to be what? 1 second is what? 1 second is 1,000 milliseconds. We got our baud rate. That's looking good. Okay, so now we're going to come down in the loop. And what do we need? We need to create the code that's going to be red, green, blue. And let's just think through. It'll be red on, wait, red off, wait. Green on, wait, green off, wait. And then blue on, wait, blue off, wait. And then we're going to put, after that, then we're going to put a longer delay, and then we're going to go red, green, blue, and wait, red, green, blue, and wait. And then we're going to do that 25 times. Okay, so let's just start and see if we can just get the red, green, blue sequence working first, and then we'll talk about what to do after that. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to start our blink work. We're going to start our blink work. So I'm going to say analog right. Why am I doing analog right? I might want to mix and match a little bit later. So this gives me more flexibility. Who am I talking to? Mr. Red Pen. And where is he going to be? Well, we're going to turn him on to 55 like that. Okay. And now what are we going to do? Analog right. And we're going to turn off Mr. Green Pen. Okay. Mr. Green Pen like that. And he is going to be a 0. And then we're going to go analog right to Miss Blue Pen. And she's going to be off as well like that. Okay. So now they're on. So the red is on. Now what do I need to do? I need to wait. So I'm going to say a delay of what? 150. No, 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 no. We're going to do what? Short delay, that short delay, short delay, short D like that. Okay. So now I've turned those three, I've turned the red on. Now for a blink, we need to turn everything off. Well, I'm going to just snag this handy code here, all 4 of the lines, and then I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste. And so now I turned red on, I waited. Now what do I want to do? I want to turn red off, and then I'm going to wait. So what do I have? I have one red blink. Well, what do I need now? I need a green blink. But the green blink is going to be almost exactly the same as the red blink. So I'm going to take both of these. It is like 8 lines of code, the writing, the delay, the writing them down, and the delay. So I'm going to take all of those and I'm going to copy them. Okay. And then I'm going to come here. I'm going to come here. All right. I'm going to come here. And what am I going to do? Instead of red, red is going to go to 0. And this time, who's in the spotlight? Mr. Green is in the spotlight. Okay. And then we turn off. Now, what are we going to do next? We are going to do the same thing again. And then we are going to, this time, whose turn is it? She's been patient. It's going to be Miss Blue is going to be in the spotlight. Okay. Now I do red, green, blue. But now what do I need? I need a longer delay. Okay, so now I'm going to do a delay, and I'm going to do a delay of long delay like that. Okay, let's just see if we got our basic blinking thing going there, just a blink, blink, blink. Now, what's the problem? It's not going to do it 25 times. It's going to do it blink, 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 and then it's going to what? It's going to go back up. It's going to wait a second. It's going to go back up to the top of the void loop, and it's going to go blink, blink, blink. And it's going to go blink, blink, blink. And then it's going to go blink, blink, blink. For how long? Forever, until something happens, you know, Carrington event, and the grid goes down and there's no electricity anywhere. But until then, this program is going to keep running. So let's go ahead and let's do this. And I have my handy little diffuser here. So let's see. Oh, what is this? Oh man, analog right. Look at that. Look at that. Extraneous. So how did that get in there? Okay, fat fingered that one, didn't I? Okay. Oh. Did I copy and paste? Oh man, I copied and pasted that. You know what would have been smart? It would have been smart for us to run the code with just one blink. It's always good to run the code before you copy and paste, because what did we do? We copied and pasted that error. So what is the lesson learned? Before you do a lot of copying and pasting, make sure that the one little snippet works so that you're not copying and pasting errors. Pro tip there. So here we go. I think it's going to go this time. It is downloading. We got our little diffuser ready, and red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. You see that's working. Red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. Okay, that is working. So I did it once, but is my homework successful? No, it is not, because I said, what did I say that you should do? You should make it blink 25 times, and then you should stop. I said blink 25 times and stop, and what is it doing? It's just going to blink forever. So first of all, how would you make it stop? I haven't taught you a way to terminate the program. Like there's not like an Arduino terminate. And so what do we need to do? We need to hang it. And how would we do that? Now imagine what you would do is you would take all of this code that you had developed, and maybe this is how you did it. You would copy it, and then you could imagine pasting it 25 times, and then at the end of the code you would need to somehow stop the program. And how would you do that? I'm not pasting it 25 times, but how would you do that? You would do, who is your friend? Mr. While. Mr. While, Mr. While serial dot available. No, not while serial dot available. Well, you could do that if you said while serial dot available equals 0, while serial dot available equals 0, you could do that, and it would hang there until you gave it some data, and then it could go again. So I think I'll do it that way. Serial dot available equal 0. What did I forget? Our parentheses. Okay, while it's serial dot available equals 0, and then what am I going to do? I'm going to open my curly. It closes it. Okay, and then what you can see here is this one closes the while loop. Okay, and then this one closes the void loop. So that should all balance. Now what should this do? This should go red, green, blue, and then it should just stop until I send something on the serial monitor. So let's see that. I'm going to run it now, and this time I hope it blinks once, and then I hope it stops. So let's look at this. We'll blink red, green, blue, and then stop. So here we go, red, green, blue, and boom, it stopped. Okay, so now you say, but you didn't blink 25 times. We'll get there. We'll get there. But let's just savor the moment that at least we got it where it doesn't blink forever. I bet I hate doing these things on the fly. Okay, well, let me try one other thing. Now let's just see if I send it some data. I'm going to come over to the serial monitor. Okay, and let's just see if I send it something. Let's see if it goes. Okay, so let's say here I'm going to put a 5, okay, and then I'm going to put enter, and look at that red, green, blue, because it saw something on the serial monitor and then it went through again. Now this is interesting. Why did it keep going this time? I know why. I put that 5 in there, and then I didn't read it. And because I didn't read it, every time you go through, it's still there. And so now it's blinking forever. So if you wanted it not to do that, you could at least read something in. You could read something in, and then it wouldn't be there next time. So hopefully that makes sense. But you know what? I hate doing this on the fly. But what if we said while 1 equals 0? What if we did something crazy like while 1 equals 0? Let's see what happens. Okay, it's going through, we are not getting an error, and then we get a red, green, blue, and then it stops, and then it hangs. Why? Because 1 is not equal 0, and 1 is never going to equal 0, and that is an unexpected result. So why did it not hang forever? Why did it not hang forever there? Because I would think that 1 equals 0, it would never be. So I would think that would hang forever. Red, green, blue, 1, 2. That did not stop it. So let's say while long delay equal short delay. Let's see if that will do. I'm not sure. I guess maybe you can't compare constants, but let's see if this will work. So one long delay is not equal to short delay. So let's see what happens. I'm looking at red, green, blue. Man, I am having trouble getting this thing to hang. This should just, let's see what happens here. I'm gonna create another variable. This is just a little, we'll play around with this a little bit. I'm gonna say int CNT equals 0, like that. And then here inside this while loop, I'm going to put serial.println and I'll print CNT like that. And then I'm going to say CNT equals CNT plus 1. So I'm going to see, why is it not just sitting and continuing to loop there forever? So I'm going to do this, and we'll watch the serial monitor here to see what happens. So I'm going to get a red, green, blue blink. And then I am not getting anything there. So let's look. Serial monitor is set up. So it is not going. Oh, silly me, silly me, silly me. It goes in there when. It goes in there when. So while 1 equal 1, 1 equal 1 is always going to equal 1. So I was thinking backwards. I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys caught my logical error there. But to go into the loop, the condition has to be true. And then here, what do we know is true? We know that 1 does equal 1, so it's going to hang. So let's run it again and look, red, green, blue, and then it stops. It's stuck in the while loop forever, because 1 is always going to be equal to 1. So I got the program to stop. Okay, now let's get to the main point of the program. Now that we're probably 30 minutes into it, let's get to the main point. So you could take all of this code from here all the way down to here, this long, and you could copy it and you could paste it 25 times. You could take it, copy it, and paste it 25 times, and then you would get the homework assignment, which is red, green, blue, wait, red, green, blue, wait, and then do that 25 times. But then, you know, as soon as you did that, I say, really, I want 150 times. No, I want 13 times. So that is not the way to do it. So what you want is you want a loop, not a void loop that goes forever, but you want a loop that starts where you want it to start and ends where you want it to end, and do exactly the number of loops that you want. And that, my friend, is the for loop. Now, if we're going to loop, we have to have some sort of index. We have to have some sort of counter. And typically, it just goes all the way back to assembly, and it goes all the way back to Fortran. Typically, your for loop indexes are like I or J, and you can put loops inside of loops inside of loops. So if you would like have your first for loop be for I is equal to something, and then your inside of that would be J, and then the next one would be K. But typically, I or J or K are your indexes that you loop on, that you count on. And so we're going to get rid of this CNT nonsense, and we're going to say I, and I'm not going to give it a value. I'm just declaring the variable integer I. Now, what do I want to do? I want all of that code to be inside of my for loop. So I say for, okay, that kind of makes sense. And now I put my loop conditions. And just like conditionals go inside of parentheses, my loop conditions go inside of my loop conditions go inside of a parentheses. And you sort of have the like start condition, and then you have the end condition, and then you have the increment. Sort of like that's what you got to think about. And actually these are going to be, this is not the way you do it. This is just kind of conceptually, you got to give it three things. You give it where you want to start, you got to give it where you want to end, and then you got to give it what changes at each point, at each time you go through the loop, what changes. So we're going to start here, and then what do I need? I need a clause. So I'm going to put an open curly, but I don't want to end the curly right here because then it would just sit there in that little thing and not do anything. So to include all of the below code in, I've got to take the close curly out. So I've opened the clause. Now I come all the way to the bottom here, and I even want the long delay in there. Okay, the long delay in there. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to close it. So everything between the open and the closed curly, all of that clause is going to be what I am going to be looping through. Now let's stop doing this conceptual business and let's put some real values in here. So for, where do I start? Well, I want to start with I equal to 1. Not equal because it's not a conditional. I'm saying start with I equal 1. Make I equal 1. Then how long do I want to loop? I want to loop as long as I is less than or equal to 25. So if I is less than 25, it'll go again. If I is equal to 25, it'll go again. And then when I is greater than 25, it won't go again. It'll go down to that closed curly and it'll drop out and continue execution of the code below the for loop. Okay, now what is the increment? Well, if I'm counting to 25 every time, I should be equal to whatever I was before plus 1. So every time through, it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 25. And then it'll go through the loop at 25. When it comes back and sees 26, boom, it's not going to go into the loop. It's going to go after that curly and then continue executing the code after that curly. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, I don't want to run this at 25. We can change it back to that for the homework, but I'm just going to do 5 because I want to make sure that I am thinking about this right. And it goes 1, 2, it goes blink, blink, blink 1, blink, blink, blink 2, blink, blink, blink 3, 4, 5, like that. It's easier to count to 5 than 25. So let's do this. Okay, it's running all eyes on the LED, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom! We got it. 5 blinks and it stopped. Now, if I could do 5, I could easily do what? 25. Okay, I could easily do 25, and that would work. Okay, but let's do 6. Okay, let's do 6. So this time I'm going to do 6. And we are going to be watching all eyes on the LED. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, and then it hangs in that while loop. Okay, just exactly the way we want it. Now, I want you to predict and tell me what is going to happen. What if I say for I starts at 1 and loop as long as I is less than or equal to 6? But now what if I say I is equal to I plus 2? I want you to tell me, pause it, leave a comment, or if you're in the Premiere, leave a note in the live chat there. What do you predict is going to happen now? Okay, put in your comment, and now we're going to see. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Boom, 3. Why? The first time through I is 1. Okay, it's 1. And then it is 3. And then it is 5. And then it is 7. And it won't go into 7. So how many times is it going to blink? It's going to blink 3 times. Okay, it's going to blink 3 times. Okay, what if I said go from I equal 1 and I is equal to I plus 3? What's going to happen that time? Okay, think about it. Think carefully. And then let's see. Okay, let's watch. 1, 2, and that's it. Because the first time through I is 1, the next time through I is 4, and then the next time through I is 7, won't go into it. Okay, you see that? So you can count by you can count by ones, you can count by threes, you can count by fives, you can count by whatever factor that you want there. Okay, but what do? You give it a start value, you give it a stop condition, and then you give it the increment. Okay, so let's go back, and then of course if you really wanted to do it, you would come in and you would put 25 here, and then it would do the 25. Okay, but really this is kind of a lame thing here. Okay, it's a way that you could have gotten the homework done with what you knew. But what would be good, what would be good up here is to ask the user how many of those blink sequences they want. So what do I need to do? I need to ask, I need to wait, I need to read. And so what do I need to do? I'm going to come up here and I am going to say int, and my, it's not an int, come on, it's a string, and it's going to be my prompt. Okay, and then also I'm going to need something to put the number into, and that would be an int. Okay, and that would be, let's say, num blinks, like that, and the user will put that in. All right, so now what do I need to do here? I need to ask, so I'm going to do a serial.println. What am I going to print? I'm going to print my prompt. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait while, that was a disaster, that while loop, wasn't it, down at the bottom? That was kind of, things went off the rail there, didn't they? Okay, so while serial.available equals 0, what do? Absolutely nothing. We wait for the user's response. Okay, now what do? I say, what did I call that thing up there? I always like to check. Okay, num blinks. So I'm going to say num blinks is equal to serial.read string. No, it's not a string. It's a read int. No, we don't do it. We don't read ints like that. What's the command? Parse int, like that, and then no parameters. Okay, now I have the number of blinks I want. Now instead of 6 here, what do I put? I put num blinks, like that. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, look, I'm kind of redeemed myself there. It looks like I didn't get any, looks like I didn't get any errors. And let me make sure I took out this, yeah, I took out that while nonsense down there. Okay, now what does it say? Why did it ask me that 10 times? I'm going to clear that. That kind of disturbs me. I'm going to start the program again. Why did that say that like 10 times? Okay. So I hit the button. Okay, let's see what I've done wrong here. It's not, man, I just had a glitch. I just had a glitch in the matrix. Sometimes my studio lights change themselves in unexpected ways. Okay, while serial.available equals 0, I sit and wait. I write my prompt, and then while serial.available equals 0, I wait, and then I should read in num blinks like that. So let's try running this again. I am really honestly not sure of what I did wrong. That's 115.200. That looks good. I did my serial.begin. My serial monitor is there. And what is not working? My prompt. What is my prompt? My prompt. I didn't give it a prompt. So what should I say here? How many blinks do you desire? How many blinks do you desire? That's pretty good. Okay, guys, did you catch on, or did you see that, right? It was putting the prompt there, but the prompt was what? It was an empty variable. Okay, so now that we actually have a prompt, let's see if it'll work. you guys never know when I make the mistake on purpose and when I don't make the mistake on purpose. And so let's see. And darn it, it did not come again. So you guys tell me, what did we do wrong? Sometimes we got to hit the button. So let's hit the button again. Ah, there it is finally. How many blinks do you desire? 3. All eyes on the LED. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And now how many do you desire? To bring the homework assignment on home. Let's bring it home here. And what do we put? We put 25. And let's go and we look over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And boom, 25 blinks. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now, why did it go back up there again? Why did it start again? Why did it start again? I really, I'll be honest with you, I'm really perplexed because when it came up here, it should have just, okay, so let's run this thing again. I'm really surprised that that thing did that. Why did that thing do that? So it stopped now. That looks good. So now let's say I want 3 blinks, and I'm going to put enter. 1, 2, 3. Why is it not stopping? Okay, why is it not stopping? Let's look at this. Let's look at that for loop again. So for a while, I is equal to 1, and then I is less than or equal to num blinks. And num blinks was 3. So why is it keeping going? Both on the 25 and on the 3, it keeps going. Leave a comment in the live chat. Leave a comment down below. Why did it keep going? Right? What should it have done? It should have gotten to the end of the for loop, and then the void loop should have taken it back up here, and then it should have asked me again and waited. Why did it not? I said, every time through the loop, make I equal I. So I start out with I equal 1. The first time through the loop, I is 1. The second time through the loop, I is 1. The third time through the loop, I is 1. I stays 1. And so what? I is never going to get up to num blinks. It's never going to come out. So let's try again here, okay? Hopefully you guys caught that. You never know when I'm doing these things on purpose or when I'm really just making a mistake. Just be my little secret, you know? Okay, let's go here. And we're going to start with 3 like that, and then look at this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm not going to sit and make you watch me count to 25 again. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me count to 25 again. Okay, but we do need a homework assignment. We do need a homework assignment. And what your homework assignment is to repeat this homework assignment where you loop a user-specified number of times, like 3 times or 25 times or 7 times, you know, like the red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue. That would be 3 times, or 7 or 17 or 170. But this time, do it without the for loop, okay? Without the for loop and without copying and pasting. You can't copy and paste because you've got to get the input from the user, how many blinks he wants, and then you've got to blink that many times without using a for loop. And I think you might just have enough information from what I've taught you so far to figure it out. So I hope you can figure it out. But if you can't, never fear. I will show you the solution next week. Okay, guys, I hope you had as much fun taking this class as I did making the class. As always, I want to give a great big thank you to you guys who are standing with me on Patreon. It is your support and your encouragement that keeps these videos coming. You can also help me by giving me a thumbs up or leaving a comment down below. If you have not already, subscribed to the channel, and when you do, ring that bell so you'll get notifications when future lessons are dropped. And most importantly, share this video with other people, because the world needs more people thinking like an engineer and fewer people sitting around watching silly cat videos. Paul McWhorter with TopTechBoy.com. I will talk to you guys later.